Okay.
Nothing just went out. Notification.
Hello, my friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family. I hope you guys are doing well tonight.
Hi, you guys. Great to see everybody here again.
Lots of weird things going on, and have you guys noticed anything weird with the internet today? Well, right now, as I'm looking, it says video output low.
Wow.
So, yeah, I don't know. I've had some weird things today. I did one video and only to find out that somehow the settings turned off the microphone, which used to happen all the time when I was in North Carolina and down in Florida. And now, we see video output low. Can you guys hear me?
It says you guys may experience buffering. So if you do, it's okay. We're still here.
Hey, Benson, North Carolina. How's it going? Ronnie's Panic Panoramic.
Hi, Terry. Hi, Zeke. Hi, Jenny. Hi, Sandy. Finding Joe. YouTube acting weird on every channel tonight. Right. Yeah, because I think they're trying to plug some things from going out.
Which, makes me want to go back to something different here. And let me see if I could dig it up. And I'm going to shoot myself. Okay, cool. It looks like we're green again. There's a lot of weird things going on. And, the coronavirus is just one of them. There's a lot more going on as well. And, people think we brought up, was this just a distraction? But I really think that people are dying here. So I don't think it's just a distraction. I think that, what we're seeing now is a rapid spreading outside of China. So it's starting to go to a totally new phase, but that doesn't mean that there's not other stuff happening that, in the big scheme of things might even, be bigger than this or potentially bigger than this. Weird things going on.
Right. This is multifaceted. This is something that is really hard to understand, hard to comprehend. I mean, some people believe that, and I can totally flow with this, our crown chakras are being activated. They need a major distraction to keep us from accepting this, acknowledging it. And the best way to control us is through fear. Like Michael said, that doesn't mean there's not a virus. I think he's right. I think there's something very disturbing out there that's making people sick. So I want to be clear. I think we should take precaution if you're going out and about and stuff. So I'm not trying to say there's nothing out there. I just think that we have special abilities coming online, and they're trying to dissuade us from looking further into that. And the best thing that they can do is create a whole bunch of chaos on many, many different levels and keep us guessing and questioning. So ultimately, we want to turn within and start understanding what's going on with our bodies and our minds. But at the same time, we want to talk to you guys about this virus and keep the updates coming so we can be multi-level too.
So last night we came on and it was all about a city in Iran being on lockdown. 1.2 million people in Iran on lockdown. The numbers are complete crap. We know that. It's got to be not even 10 times what they're saying. It has to be at like 100 times what they're saying for the response we're seeing to this. And when we're looking at the numbers, and let's just jump over here. These are the official numbers, 77,659. And if we look on down, okay, now they're showing 18 in Iran. Italy now jumped up to 20. So this morning it was like 3 and 5, right? So they're starting to jump up, but still it's complete BS. It's way, way, way more than that. Do you lock down 1.2 million people because 18 people died? No. And now what we have going on is Italy, and that's the next big thing. And so if we look at the map and we start bopping out, obviously epicenter China. And then we have Iran over here. And then we have Italy over here. You know, that's spread out. You might as well be talking about all Eurasia pretty soon. Interestingly enough, there's really nothing showing in Africa besides the one dot in Egypt right now. And, I wouldn't hold my breath on that, as far as these things expanding. We see 204 in South Korea. From what we're hearing, it might be 10 times that in reality, at least. 634 others and 105 in Japan. The others, as we're talking about, it's probably cruise ship people. But really what we're seeing is an explosion in certain areas. It's very disconcerting that you have Iran all the way over here, thousands of miles to the west. Italy, another, huge jump across the Mediterranean pond from Iran. Now, they have, as we'll see here, 10 Italian towns in lockdown. So are both of those being extremely proactive? Well, I hope so. But they must have something to go on. They must have way more than 15 to 20 people that are ill. Don't you think?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like what makes sense here. I mean, we have to piece this together ourselves. They leave a lot to our imagination, which is okay because we can hang with that. We go through a lot of information. Yeah, they know more. They definitely know more.
Okay, so authorities in northern Italy on Friday ordered the closure of schools, bars, and other public spaces in 10 towns following a flurry of new coronavirus cases. 5 doctors and 10 other people tested positive for the virus in Lombardy after apparently frequenting the same bar and group of friends, with 2 other cases in Veneto, authorities said at a press conference. Over 50,000 people have been asked to stay at home in the areas concerned. Okay, guys, if you're anywhere in the United States, if you're in Europe right now, you might have thought, maybe it's not going to get to us. Maybe we're never going to see a lockdown. Well, the odds of a lockdown have just gone up exponentially. They've gone way up. So again, like I was just saying to Cindy, I was saying, okay, well, we got, I guess 70 pounds of rice. We should probably get another 50 to 100 pounds. We got like 150 or 200 pounds of beans. I'll probably leave that where it is for right now. Being that it's 7:44 our time and we haven't eaten yet today. This is what we do. We eat once a day now. We're just totally used to having one meal at towards the end of the day, usually, and that's all we have. So we're kind of prepping our bodies for these times. So, obviously, we can make it last a lot longer, but we did do QiGong, we did do our meditation, our mantras, and we did do some cardio kickboxing, and we did some yoga today. So, we worked out and all. You haven't eaten a thing. I feel great.
No, I haven't eaten a thing. Actually, I feel really good too. And it is conditioning, little by little by little. So I think we started out, what kind of a fast did we start out with? Like, we ate it in a 6-hour window about?
For the most part, yeah, we're doing intermittent fasting and eating in about a 6-hour window, typically. So if we ate something at 3 or 4, we might eat something again at 8 or 9, and that would be it. Lately, we've pushed it to where we eat once, and that's it.
We don't even think about it anymore. We just ate once. Soft disclosure, I did have a handful of nuts and raisins because I was starving at around noon, but I didn't even think about it then, and I didn't think about it now.
All I've had was black coffee and some jasmine tea.
He's the good one out of the 2 of us.
And honestly, just been so busy keeping up with everything going on in this world. And we did put a offer in for another piece of property, which was rejected, and they're not cooperating, so we're back to square one with that. So I did a reading too, just to try to find direction, and I'm not sure. Things will manifest, I guess, when they're supposed to. I sure would like to get building a earth bag home, and instead of putting things in pots, put them in the ground somewhere that I know I'm going to stay. But, we're doing what we can do, and that's all anybody can do. You guys, the same thing. You do what you can do. That's all we could do. But I would seriously advise prepping. As I've quoted many times, the government told us, be ready for 6 months on your own. Are you ready for 6 months on your own? If not, get ready for 6 months on your own. And as I said before, I don't want to tell people to go max your credit cards and stuff, but I think this is serious, so, do what you can to get some extra food, extra medicines, whatever you guys use. In our case, it would be just basically vitamins and herbs. We don't use pharmaceuticals at all. And so do what you can to be prepared, food, water, shelter, all the basics, because chances are, I think the chances are that most of us that are listening to this now, at some point in time, we'll find ourselves in a lockdown situation. So we should be prepared as best we can.
Yeah, that's all we can do. And no situation is going to look perfect. No situation, you're not going to be satisfied with anything, really. I mean, none of us are. When we're looking at this type of issue, there's always a better way to do something, but whether we thought of that or not is irrelevant. What is relevant is that you just do your best. You do your best with what you've got, and that's okay. That's not a problem. That's all any of us can do. Michael and I were in a very kind of crappy situation, but we are going to make the best of it, and it'll be great.
That's all. And we were talking to a client / family member earlier today. We had a session with, and they're not in a spot that's in the middle of an outbreak or anything. They're actually out in a pretty good spot, I would say. But still, they shared, you know what? I ran out of my fresh veggies. I'm not going out. I'm not going out. I'm not going back to the store. I'm going to start, I'm just going to live off my rice and beans and canned goods and things like that. And again, microgreens are great. We have to get some more greens growing. We have to do some transplanting into bigger pots. We got stuff that's, doing pretty good that we have to transplant. I don't know. It's like I have not gone into the big town, which has about 30,000 people, to do our shopping. We made one jaunt about, 2 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago, we went up north and shopped up north in a town that only has like maybe 400 or 500 people. And really nobody goes there. So we did a big shopping there. But, I can't get myself to go back into a major population center. I just can't see it at this point. I think we're better off. We have a couple local farmers that we could catch once or twice a week where they put a stand out, and then we just grab whatever he's got. Sometimes this, sometimes that. We'll take whatever fresh veggies and fruits that we can get from him. But I can't see risking it because, to me, I think that the numbers are probably not 10 times, but 100 times more than what they're telling us. That's just my gut. That's just me, So do I want to go into a town of more than, 50,000? No. I don't even want to go into a town of more than, 30,000, that like the one that's local. Well, it's still 70 miles away. But still, I think I'll just take my chances with what we have, probably do another order or two online of some certain items, and just, start nurturing things and getting things growing. That's it. It's good to prepare yourself now, to start to harden yourself a little bit now. And, I say that with love, guys. I think it's good. We need to get ourselves a little bit harder, a little bit ready. So you have over 50,000 people that have been told to stay home. And all the public activities are banned. Everything is under control, says the Prime Minister. It's just we're taking an extremely high level of precaution. Well, that's wonderful. Kudos to you if that's the case. Now, if you're lying to us because there's 100 times the amount of cases, then it's a different situation. So you see streets and towns were deserted, only a few people seen abroad, signs showing public spaces are closed. Good idea. First town to be shuttered was Codogno, with a population of 15,000. 3 people tested positive for the virus in a town of 15,000, and it shut down. What does that tell you? It tells you that there's fear a lot more than this being just a regular old flu virus. Somebody knows something. If they shut down a town of 15,000 because 3 people got something, what do you think?
Terry Charms Life and Beyond's asking, but when do you think it's going to collapse, Michael? Because this is where it's all leading. I'll answer, then I'll let Michael answer. Personally, I think it's happening now, and we have time. We should use it. And it's going to be, I don't think everything is going to come to a screeching halt. I think we are going to be a little uncomfortable because the mail is going to stop. Certain things might stop. And that's why we should probably get ready right now. And that's what I think.
Yeah, the time to get ready was weeks ago and months ago. Now you should be, fine tuning. And, of course, as we get into this, we realize things. Like I said to Cindy, I said, the one thing we didn't stock up on was any frozen vegetables. Right. We didn't stock on any frozen. Just because we're so used to eating fresh all the time. But now we're running down, And I'm only going to take really what the local guy has from his farm. And, some of it, is not so good. It's not what we usually get. And there's less of it. But at the same time, I just don't want to risk going into town. Now, your chances of going into town now might still only be like 1 in 1,000, 1 in 10,000 of catching whatever this truly, truly is, which will probably keep increasing. We can't live in fear, but then at the same time, how would you feel if you made that trip in to grab something and then you came back? Maybe you don't get so sick, but you gave it to your wife or your kid. And you actually lost one of them. I mean, that would be the worst case scenario. So, yeah, I don't think we should live in fear. But yet, at the same time, I think we should be, taking our precautions. Yeah. Now, our situation's so different, because we basically just have distance clients that we could, talk to on the phone, on Skype, on Messenger, things like that. And then we have YouTube and Brightian and BitChute. So we don't really have to go anywhere. We're blessed in that sense. In that sense, we're really blessed. Now, if you are going into a 9-to-5 job and you got to go into that job in LA or Chicago or New York, that's tough. I wouldn't want to make those decisions as I see everything kind of going crazy on the stream there. I wouldn't want to make those decisions. So, God bless you guys that are going through that right now, especially, as things get deeper in and we start to see more and more cases.
Yeah. Terry Charm says, don't forget board games, cards, etc. Totally. Yeah. Make the best of it. Just make the best of it. We're all good at that. We've all been through enough hard times in our life where we know how to look at the brighter side of things. No matter what, there's always a brighter side of things to look at. And that's really important to hold that thought right now.
Yeah, Gia says dried beans, most definitely. I use the quick soak method and they come out great. I'll soak overnight if I'm going to make black bean burgers, which I've bragged to Cindy that I make great black bean burgers. But I need fresh cilantro for it.
No.
And now we don't have any fresh cilantro. We got little sprouts. Well, maybe they're about 2-3 inches. So we'll have them in a week or two.
Yeah.
Yes, don't forget the yeast. I mean, I have 50 pounds of wheat, non-GMO, organic wheat. And I realized I don't got enough yeast. So we all are having to look at little things like that. Pick up yeast. Guys, the mail system in China, they're just look at China as an example. So realize we have a window here to stock up on all sorts of stuff. One with nature, the black bean burgers are fabulous. They are so good, so yummy. I like to throw 2 or 3 different peppers in there, always poblanos, maybe some red bell peppers in there, and maybe some jalapeno as well. And throw in some chipotle with a lot of cumin. Good stuff. Fresh cilantro. Yeah, good stuff. I love that stuff. I love food, though, and I love cooking. Oh, you don't know how to use yeast. Yeah, I keep thinking I'm going to make some bread, and I just never get around to it because it is a pain in the butt. But again, flatbreads don't need yeast, so you could do that as well. I do love to cook pancakes and things like that from scratch, healthy ones. Helen says, well, I just got some, I think she means mealworms. Yeah, I mean, my lizards love them. We saw an adorable bearded dragon out in the desert. He was so cute. Oh, my God. Cash in hand, it's not a bad idea to get cash in hand. If you have silver and gold, and you might want to get it on your personage as well. And because a lot of people have silver and gold, quote unquote, but they're certificates. And if society breaks down, are you going to be able to really get to it and get them? Love French toast too. Good stuff. Things are going to get a little bit rough now, so most definitely. We do have a dehydrator, right?
We do have a dehydrator, yeah.
Okay, dehydrator's great. You could dehydrate stuff if you're a meat eater, or if you're a veggie, you could dehydrate some fruits and stuff like that as well. Right. I think we have pretty much everything we need.
Sorry, I can't put Panok. Sorry, I'm going to butcher your name. Cash spread virus, probably. So you would want to. I would spray it with Lysol front and back, let it dry, and then also wash your hands. Raven told us. I think it was Raven. 2 minutes, 2 solid minutes under the fingernails. Get it really, really good. If you go to the store and get a thing for a pedicure or manicure, they sell these little brushes that you can brush under your fingernails with. Everybody should probably have one of those. Those are really useful for under the fingernails. So I'd Lysol the cash.
Yep. As Glenn says, you can't eat gold or silver. So when you get down to it, there's going to be stages. At first you might find some people that are willing to, trade for gold and silver and give you actual food or maybe ammo or what have you. Eventually, cash is going to be worthless, and then gold and silver will be worthless at some point if things got that bad. We don't know how bad it's going to get. We don't know how long until it rebounds. We don't know how long until China rebounds. Does it look like they're rebounding yet? Not really. They're sending some people back to work, which might end up spreading it so much more. Powdered milk and potatoes. Yeah. I mean, there's so many things. You could store things like, I'm used to always buying fresh OJ, fresh grapefruit juice, right? But you can get grapefruit juice, in bottles as well that can be stored. So think about things that can store. Now, also think about vitamin C. So important. So, think about sources of vitamin C that will last you a while. And so, as we look at this, it's an ominous sign. Last night, 1.2 million Iranians go on lockdown. And then tonight we have 50,000 Italians going on lockdown as this is spreading outwards. So that to me is seriously ominous. Now we have Europe, experiencing lockdowns. How long until we have lockdowns in the UK and in the USA, for instance, or Canada or Australia? And then we have this. Hundreds of animals mysteriously dropped dead in China amid coronavirus outbreak. Chinese authorities have admitted they have discovered mass animal deaths in the epicenter of the Hubei outbreak there. That's scary. So, man, it reminds me of the quatrain of Nostradamus. This reminds me of that quatrain, and I'm going to ask Cindy to hold this.
Yes. So we're going to look up something here. It's really, really cool. Usually when it gets an inspiration, it's always really, really good. Yeah, we're going to look at Nostradamus here. I love Nostradamus. I've watched him since I was little, since I was like a teenager. Always been really into him. And I think people really took notice after 9/11, because this stuff is always hindsight, is always 2020, then you can look back and put it all together. But I think the trick is to figure it out, before it happens, and then prepare for it best we can. So that's quite a trick. And I think people do off and on. This is interesting stuff. He has so much to say, so much to share. And I know that, let's see, who was it? Dolores Cannon worked through clients. Okay, here we go.
So, there's different ways of interpreting these to a degree. So this is Century 9, Quatrain 55. The horrible war which is being prepared in the West. The following year will come the pestilence, so very horrible that young, old, nor beast, blood, fire, Mercury, Mars, Jupiter, and France. And so you're my astrologer, so I need you to go deep into that. But, right here we see, the horrible war. Now, we could look at this a lot of different ways. And we could look at it like, well, we know the West was trying to get a war going with Iran. And then, of course, we started with Syria, and that's in a quagmire, and it's kind of, a total cluster, right now with, U.S. military vehicles running Russian ones off the road, all sorts of blockades. We're there, the U.S. is there, Russia's there, Turkey's there, of course, Syria's there. It's just waiting to, have the wrong fuse lit. It's a mess. And we were told that all our troops are going to be out, but hey, Obama told us all the troops are going to be out of Afghanistan. We all clapped. I didn't clap because I knew he's a liar, and I don't trust any of them. And I knew when Trump said he's going to pull them out of Syria, he wasn't. And, Iraq said, please leave, and we're not. And we have said that we're going to be in Afghanistan indefinitely. And the bottom line is, it's not even always about controlling the oil and the natural resources. It's also about controlling the past history and keeping some things buried where we're never going to be able to discover the true history as well. And there's a lot of history over there to be uncovered. But this horrible war, which is being prepared in the West. So perhaps this is why I felt instinctively that, we have all the evidence that China stole this, right? Took it from the Canadian lab. We even have, photographs of the Chinese researchers. We have all this stuff, ton of evidence. It's almost like, okay, overwhelming evidence, case closed, bang the gavel, sentence, give them the sentence. But something just doesn't feel right to me. And so we see the horrible war being prepared in the West. So was this actually something that was maybe a first shots at WW3? Was this a preemptive strike? Maybe this was prepared in the West and unleashed in the East. Now, the following year, okay, so when did it start? Well, it really started in December or even earlier, maybe even a little bit earlier from what we're finding out, the following year would be this year, which comes the pestilence, 2020. So very horrible that young, old, nor beast, and the implication is may survive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I mean, there's a lot to be said there, and many layers of information to go into, and I'll have to look that up with the planets there. I know there are some things coming up right around election time with Trump's chart and with the United States chart. Looks like things will get a little interesting right around election time. So, they're getting interesting now. I think now is just a really good time to kind of prepare and, don't take chances. If you go out, just be smart about it. I really like the Lysol spray because you can spray it on everything and then it'll dry and you can call it good. So things like that, plants, go ahead and get some pots and start planting some stuff, rice, beans. It's going to be okay.
And I see we have other people that understand astrology as well, like Ishtar was giving us some stuff here. So like Cindy was saying, honestly, what she sees coming is going to be tougher, challenging times come election time. Yeah. And, this is part of the bigger picture here. It really is part of the bigger picture. So if Iran has the second most cases right now, in reality, they have a city of 1.2 on lockdown. And China, those are two on the the S list of the U.S. So again, is this something that's being unleashed and targeted preemptively? Perhaps. We sure know there's no talk of a trade war now, is there?
No, they're not. They're kind of busy right now.
Yeah, I mean, the trade war, where'd all that go? China isn't going to be economically crushed if this keeps going on. And this is actually real, completely real, in that, they really are, holding on to say, okay, we're showing 77,000. What if that's, really over 1 million, which it easily could be. Raven's been calculating crushing numbers for a long time. Others have too. So, what if it's really going on exponentially? I feel this is an act of war, honestly. What's definitely an act of war on humanity. That's at the very least. It's just trying to find out, who really fired this shot at the same time. And what's going to be the follow-up blow? What's that going to be? But, we had that YouTube channel that talked about the Masons that were talking about China's going to catch a cold, part of the bigger picture. So obviously, and then, as Dulce Caridad Barajas Martinez says, chemtrails. Yes. Oops, I said the C word. Oops. Sorry, guys. Anyway, yeah. I mean, how do we know? What's up there? What's up there? We don't. We absolutely don't. So, yeah, it's interesting. It really is interesting to look at all this. And so how about Italy? Where does Italy sit? Well, Italy, if you follow, European politics, they're a little bit on the outside compared to, say, France and Germany. There's definitely, I think, that feeling in Europe, and you guys that are in Europe could know, you know a lot more about this than I do, of the haves and have-nots as well. There most definitely is a strong French and German unity growing, or alliance growing there. And now with Brexit, UK is sort of on the outside. They're always allied strongly with the USA, and some would say that really that alliance has never stopped, even during the Revolutionary War.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on, and someone asked, maybe we can put it in the links as far as where did that come from, where China is going to catch a cold. Maybe we can put that in the links for her. It's a YouTube channel. Somebody said that.
It was in one of the very first videos I did about this, and I know Paul Cottrell did one as well. And I know somebody mentioned Gans water. I did look into it. I don't know enough about it. You know, you guys could look into Gans water. I looked into it as soon as it was mentioned. Whenever there's like a product being sold, you know, then I take a step back. And yeah, I've had so many different companies approach me to sell products. And, you know, I love Rex and I love, you know, all these other channels too, but I did enough selling of things in the past, so I just don't want to sell anything anymore. That's just me. I just don't like the system. And so, I mean, I was approached with like sponsoring and pushing the same stuff that Rex pushes and others as well. But, you know, I just meditated on it, and, you know, I just don't want to do it. I just don't want to. I'll let you guys know what I know, but I just don't want to sell anything ever again in my life, period.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's no fun. You know, we like to come on here and talk with you guys. We don't want to have to worry about doing other stuff for other people, because we're here for you guys. You know, we're here to update you, and that's what we like to focus on. So, you know, what do we got here?
Okay, so this got me jumping off onto the Nostradamus thing about hundreds of animals dropping dead in China amid the fight against the coronavirus. So there's been mass animal deaths. And of course, we saw the videos of trucks driving around, you know, coronavirus hit cities, spraying huge plumes of toxic liquid, kill the infection. And also, you know, taking all these little chicks and just burying them alive. And it's just horrendous what's going on. Now, if this could pass into humans or into animals from humans and vice versa, it's scary, you know. And if it can go between any and all, pretty much all the species, wow, that takes it to a whole other level. And that gets me thinking of this. Now, again, do I trust Nostradamus? No, because, you know, he was in there with the richest of the rich, the kings and the queens of the day. He was also somebody that believed in the Catholic Church. So do I trust him? No. Do I think he is a legitimate seer? Possibly. Do I think he might also be an agent of the Illuminati? Quite possibly. So, you know, that's why I still look at it and don't disregard it. So as we're watching this and you're seeing these numbers explode, yeah, we're really in something here. It really is something that we need to be prepared for. And I don't see any reason to, you know, hunker in if you're able to. Stock up as much as you could. Yeah. Limit your exposure to other people. As you see here, this is out of CBS Los Angeles. The city of Costa Mesa is seeking to block the transfer of up to 70 confirmed coronavirus patients from near Sacramento to the former Fairview Development Center. You're going to see a lot of that. We've seen people out in the streets trying to block people from coming back in. We've seen random acts of violence in China that has been just horrendous to look at. And as you see, this is out off-grid survival. CDC preparing for possibility of pandemic spread inside the U.S. And they're dropping hints. And they keep saying, we're going to have to take an approach like China. I hope we're not going to take an approach like China. As you see here, new pneumonia may have expanded to third wave outbreak. Now, this is saying Macau has 447 confirmed cases. And when we look over here, where's Macau? 10. You know, who do you believe? That's a big difference. That's a huge difference. And this is sad. You know, how many people are going to be jumping out of the building soon? So this man needs to go visit his grandson, building gate locked during coronavirus outbreak. He chooses to jump. There's an air cushion below. But unfortunately, it wasn't inflated. At this point, she says she didn't know, but later on, it didn't work. And here you see hazmat suits made in the USA in Richmond, Virginia. Thousands of DuPont employees are working round the clock to increase production of protective garments. High demand for first responders and medical workers, and just anybody when you get down to it.
Oh, there you go. That just raised my interest. It's made through DuPont. one of those families. Hope they make it nice. I hope they make it so it doesn't leak.
Bottom line is, war makes money.
It does.
War controls, and it makes money, and so does sickness. And here you see Dr. Eric, amazing congrats on vaccine progress for UQ News scientists who met a key milestone in their fast-track research to develop a vaccine for SARS-CoV-2, COVID-19. In just 3 weeks, the researchers have created their first vaccine candidate in the lab. And so this is Dr. Ian MacKay, not so novel numbers going around. Look at this one. 100% deaths occurred among critical cases. 0% among severe and mild cases. 1.06 to 1. That's the male to female ratio in China. But recognize also there's a lot more males in China than female, right? 2.3% of the confirmed COVID cases died. 2.3 is what they're saying. 0.9% of deaths occurred among those without comorbidities. 93.7% of deaths occurred in those older than 50 years of age. So, if you're younger than 50, you're in much, much, much better shape. 5.6% to 10.5% among COVID-19 cases who have underlying comorbidities. And, the numbers are very, very sobering, to say the least. And, this is also Dr. MacKay. Coronavirus window of containment narrowing after Iranian deaths, the WHO warns. He said, okay, I think it might have been taped shut and bricked up.
Right, exactly. So, I mean, the numbers are still going up, not down. And as long as they're going up, we're going to report on it and bring you everything that we do find. And we'll just keep following this. Ultimately, the mailing systems are going to slow down. So I would get beans and rice. Mm-hmm.
And plenty of seasonings.
Yeah.
I just ordered a couple more pounds of curry. So, various curries. I love all sorts of curries. You can keep dressing up the beans and the rice, and maybe it'll be something you could tolerate.
So yummy.
As you see here, this line of people are waiting for the only restaurant open in town to get their takeout. And as Harry Chen says, the best and only beef noodles in town. And he has put out so much info here. You see, without enough drivers, they transit the sick on foot now to a new location. So these are people that are sick, and they're going from one location to another. You could distinguish, the white are the ones that are the officials. The ones in the blue suits are the patients, quote unquote.
Now those ones do look sick because they're slow.
Yeah, they're moving sluggish, and this guy is styling. He's pimping. So, then this is a CCP official. Checking papers, saying, "You may go ahead, young lady," as he sprays her as she walks by.
Right.
Crazy stuff. So here we see 142 additional Corona-19 cases confirmed. So what's the real numbers? We don't know. They're way, way more. 2 more travelers are suspected to be carriers of the virus in Lebanon. We had the first case in Lebanon yesterday. 22 more crews evacuees, including 16 in the Bay Area, sent to hospitals. Meanwhile, people are being taken off and sent to hospitals. And these are 22 more people from the Diamond Princess in Japan to 2 U.S. air bases. So these people are coming back home. And they're getting intermingled, and they're being sent to different hospitals. And of course, meanwhile, life goes on and the numbers go up.
Yeah, it does. So we'll just keep watching. That's really all we can do. Watch and report and come on here because it's nice to be live with you guys anyhow and check in once a day and see how you're doing. It's just a really nice energy exchange. I've had some, even though things do look strange, I have had some really, really wonderful, beautiful energy come in, and I do send that back out to you guys with love. And I do appreciate you guys. You guys are so wonderful. And we're going to prepare and it's going to be okay.
That's all. Just do what you can. Stay as strong as possible. Keep boosting your immune system. Get your exercise in. Find your ways to de-stress and make sure you de-stress as much as possible, guys. I would most definitely put in your orders and stock up on whatever you can right now. Honestly, I do think that many, many, many of us are going to have periods of time where we're basically going to be on a lockdown. We see it coming. So many places are going to be on lockdown. And those people that don't have enough food in there to last more than a week, they're going crazy right now. And, as Raven was talking about the prisons are most definitely, something to be aware of. And One with Nature says, don't go to Walmart. Yeah, Walmart, most of their stuff comes from China. So you might want to watch that. And as I shared with you guys, the last 2 bags of rice I got from California. They cost twice as much. But they're organic and they're sprouted and they're very, very healthy. And they're not, irradiated or anything like that. So, you're better off for doing it that way. Thank you, Ronnie. Thank you, everyone. We just got to stick together, guys. We got to stick together through all this and grow stronger as a community, because that which doesn't kill us will make us stronger.
Indeed, it will. And we'll just, keep at it one night after the next. And as long as you guys show up, we'll show up.
Definitely. And, okay, Iraq Optics says, stock up on your ammo, folks. Hey, that's the one thing where I'm not optimal, I'm not where I want to be with that. There was a time I was better prepared along those lines years ago. And not just ammo too. Think about, well, for one thing, I have 3 big 5 or 6 pound jugs of protein powder as well, just to have there as a supplement. There's a lot of things, peanut butter, very calorically dense when things get really, really bad. Coconut oil, olive oil, again, they're calorically dense and they're actually healthy for you. Chris P says, I'm going to Chinatown for rice. Best price in town. Chris, we love you, man. We don't want you risking yourself there, What will we do without you?
Right now, the rice that we got, we did get it online, Amazon. I would utilize that best you can. Spray it with Lysol, follow that protocol. That's what we did.
Ishtar says beans, bullets, and Band-Aids, and you're right. And the other thing, too, is, you can make deals in a society that's broke down saying, I'll trade you this box of 59 millimeters for 5 pounds of rice, something like that. Those things are going to always be valuable, a way to protect yourself as well as for those people that do hunt, a way to hunt if you had to. And then also, obviously food, medicine, those things are always going to hold their value.
They will. And with that, I think we are going to go ahead and call it a night. Thanks, you guys, for showing up. We love you so much. God bless and namaste.
God bless, guys. Keep preparing. Namaste.